press play. It's a brand new day. Laugh, unload, make waves. We doing it our way. Yeah. Good day, hey, come on and start your day with a smile and a wink and a how you going, mate. Good day, hey, pull up a seat, let's say we're all in this together. Good day, hey.
Hello, gay millennials. We finished in our cheer pose, and welcome back to another episode of Good Day Gay, Alpha or Alone inside the Manosphere Meltdown. I'm Russell Ray, along with my co-host Pauly B. What up, Pauly B?
What up? How are you?
Speaking of Manosphere, we are dressed in two separate type of ways. You are in a tank top. I am in a standard oversized tee. So
I'm in a tank top and I have the Pussycat Dolls in my head, and look at her go.
Look at her go. Yep.
Okay, sorry. I'll be the backing vocals then.
Thank you, please and thank you. Know your place. Thank you so much. Okay, let's get into it. The Manosphere. What the heck is it? It's booming. But it's actually helping men, or is it monetizing their loneliness? What is happening with the Manosphere? Today on our episode, we're going to unpack the rise of hypermasculinity, influencer, dating advice gurus, and alpha male culture, and ask the real question: are men building better lives or just louder egos? And more importantly, where do gay men fit in all of this? So let's get into it right off the bat. Pauly B, what is even the Manosphere? What is it? Talk to us about it. Give the viewers a 30 to 45 second spiel.
So we had to do, I personally have not like fully looked into the Manosphere or like watched the Netflix doco, because there is a Netflix doco with Luis Theron, which I do want to watch sometime. But it sort of like came up on my feed recently where one of my friends posted, she is female, love her. She posted this story where it was like she was watching the Manosphere and she was like, nope, can't do this, because it was a clip of the guy being like, oh, and this is my dishwasher, and he pointed to his wife in the process of like, this is my dishwasher, but he meant his wife.
That is insanity.
Yeah. And then it popped up on the, like, you know, going back to what you and I had said before, like in our last catch up, where, you know, you always just, well, we talk about this all the time with our barber, right? We talk smack with our barbers. And
all the time.
All the time. Like, if anything, like, if as your gay psychologist, if you don't go to a therapist, you should go to a barber that knows how to talk. Yes. That is what I'm prescribing to you. But also, like, so that came up on the chair as well, where he like talked about the Manosphere and he was being an idiot. He's like, yeah, I can be a toxic male sometimes, haha. And then that gave me the thought where I was like, is there anything, I guess, specific, not like the Manosphere doesn't exist in the gay community, but is there like toxic gay traits within the community that I guess is being like built up as a community, if that makes sense? So
100%.
that's what we're gonna exactly. So I flew that with you and I was like, yo, could we just talk about this? Like, that's what you and I do. We just talk crap, but we talk real. So if we go down to what even is the Manosphere, it's an online ecosystem of male-focused content relating to dating advice, masculinity coaching, anti-feminism rhetoric, level up culture, big messaging themes, men are losing power, women only want status and money, be dominant or be ignored. So I will say,
hold on, before we go forward on this, I will say there is one person who dating advice is the only person that I feel that everybody should listen to, and his name is Matthew Hussey. And he is very level-headed when it comes to dating advice, right? Like he makes you think of what's right and what's like he makes the playing field level, right? So there was one instance where he did this exercise with everybody in the audience. They were asking him, I'm having
He's
trouble
good.
finding love, I'm having trouble finding this, and he said, well, how many women in the audience right now feel that the men should pay for the bill? And they all raised their hand. And then he said, now then is it fair to say that men should expect you to put out on the date if they're paying for the bill? And the whole crowd said, hell no. And he said, well, how is it that you're expecting him to do something that he technically is not required to do? You just expect this. So why is it that there's that double standard of he better not expect anything else from me because he's put on a front to do all these things for you? And now they're, he advice in general. Let me play something for you.
Go for it.
Never going to give us closure because they won't change, or because they're never going to say that cathartic thing before they die that's going to make us feel like, oh my God, they did love me, or oh my God, they do acknowledge the ways they hurt me, or they do see me. There are many moments in our lives, or many people who are never going to give us that catharsis. The ultimate peace, the ultimate closure is the change we make for ourselves to never be like that, to create a different life for ourselves, to get around people that aren't like that, to create a different experience for ourselves, to create a different world for ourselves. That's the ultimate closure. That's the peace. The peace is the closure. The peace we create in our lives by being different, by not subjecting ourselves to that same treatment over and over, by not holding ourselves back, by not giving in to that story someone put in our head that we're not worth it.
And see, this is kind of what we talked about last week when I told you, like, moving on with peace. So first of all, I'm in sync with him, right? And I don't even follow him religiously like that. I just think he is great at what he does. But again, there is peace in knowing that you can move forward in life and you can do all these things, right? Just like with this manosphere that's going around, right? I feel like there is peace. There is peace within knowing that your definition of what a man is okay.
Yes.
Just like your definition of masculinity, femininity, submissiveness is all okay. It doesn't make it wrong, right? So for an example, I had someone call me femme at the gym one time. He's like, oh, or not at the gym, but we were out when he's like, oh, you're that femme guy from the gym. And I'm like, me? And I was like, absolutely not. Like, I don't see it. I could probably kick your ass if I wanted to. You know what I mean? It was that type of situation where I'm like, what is your definition of masculine? Because you're not giving that either.
You were like, if you want to see femme, look at my podcast partner.
Look at Paulita.
I think though, like going back to Matthew Hussey, like, yes, definitely yes. And I think that's the perfect example of what you just put there, which was like, under the manosphere, you might interpret that as all a woman wants is like money and for us to pay the bill. So therefore, we should expect to have like sex on the first date. Like that could be a manosphere way of thinking. But I think like what you said, there is a difference between that as well as like, hey, let's go deeper and like, what is the emotional thing here? What is the reason behind this? So I think that, yeah, definitely. I think that there's definitely something there, and that's the manosphere.
Well,
it just sounded like Nicole Scherzinger then. Like, yeah.
Well, here's the thing as well, right? We're in this era of, we have these toxic masculine examples that are floating around on the internet. No matter where you go, right? You can be gay, you can be straight. They're there, and they feel like they're right because they speak loud. But
yes,
just in case you didn't learn anything in school, the loudest one is not always the right one, right? Sometimes you gotta wait for the one who's quiet, who speaks last, because they know what everyone else has said, and now they can have a level-headed response, right?
Yeah.
So this is happening worldwide, right? Especially now, given like in certain countries, women who were suppressed with their rights are now being given rights that they didn't have before, and men feel like they're losing control. Well, here's the thing. half the messes we got into in the world are because of men,
Of
right?
men.
And
Yeah.
non-level-headed men, highly emotional men. So let's start there. So let's fast forward, because this is less about masculinity, more about insecurity with a microphone, right? Because that's all the internet is insecurity and microphones and cameras.
Yeah,
What
let
were
me
you
just
gonna say?
quickly say though. So I was just going to quickly say, like, I did watch this one video, like when I was doing a bit of my research, it was like, okay, how does this develop essentially? Like, essentially, we were all children at one point, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, we were all like young men, young boys that had like underdeveloped brains, or we just thought about ways differently to how we could think about it now. Also, because we've gone through life, also because we've like learned things, if that makes sense. So think about it as like a child. Like, you feel a certain way, you feel like you are not enough, you feel like you are little. And so, you know, a lot of men, a lot of guys, they do play online games, they do go into online communities, and they've somehow stumbled upon a community that makes them feel like they are enough, or they somehow they've stumbled upon a community that shows them that, look, there are people that feel like you feel, but you can get your power back. So it makes me just think that at the bottom of all of this, it's all about finding community, which is kind of like what you and I spoke about in the last episode about building a tribe, right? Like, building a tribe. And it's just unfortunate that the tribe or the community that they've gone from have these extreme ideas, if that makes sense. So, and I think that leads into exactly what you were about to talk about, which was like being the loud person, if that makes sense, because that's appealed to people, and people have been like, yo, I'm listening to you because you have these ideas that is like resonating with me right now. And here we are.
And then here we are, where people are now, or influencers are now at restaurants, and they're at Starbucks, and they're at all these different places, and they think because they're going to get loud with somebody that they're right. And it's like, no, you're not right. Like, you're just loud and you're annoying is what you are. Number one. But number two is there's this false sense of hierarchy, right? Like, people are constantly now saying, what is your name, right? They always want to know someone's name. What is your name? Why do they have to give you their name? Because you feel entitled to be asking for someone's name because you think their job is going to be on the line. Like, you are the bottom barrel of pathetic, right? When it comes to thinking you're the hierarchy. So like, it's the dumbest thing in the world. But I mean, let's get into the gay version of it, right? So gym culture obsession. Apparently, if you're not obsessed with the gym, then
But let's talk about that. But let's talk about that, right? Like, if I think about myself, I was a fat kid. Like, I got teased for being fat when I was a kid. And, you know, it's hard as a child. Like, how old was I? I think I was like 10 or 11 or something, and I would be teased for being fat. And so I built up this like thought, like, yeah, I'm fat. Like, people don't like me because I'm fat, if that makes sense. So did I gain like body dysmorphia? Does every gay have body dysmorphia? Yes, we do. But did I gain that from that one childhood thought? Like, yes. Am I obsessed with the gym because of that? Yes. But I know that, if that makes sense. I know that. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So it's like, what are you trying to get out of it? What are you trying to get out of it?
I was a chunky little kid, and then I got really skinny. And then it was like so hard for me to put on weight. And so I also became obsessed with the gym. And then people used to be like, oh, you have such a bony butt. You have a bony butt. And now they're like, oh, you have way too much ass. Is it fake? And I'm like, well, like, pick a struggle. Either you are going to talk about me because my butt is too bony, or now you're going to talk about me because it's too big. And yes, it's real. Okay. So like,
I need to see pictures
let me talk.
I need to see pictures of this bony butt, because I don't believe that could ever have been you. No, that did not exist.
Yeah, no, they were always like, oh, your butt is so bony. Now they're like, that's a lot. That's too much ass. That's just a lot of ass. And I'm like,
is it ever?
What do you want from me? You're not happy if I'm thin. You're not happy if I'm thick. So, right. So there's this gym culture obsession, which I think the gays are always in this hamster wheel of needing to look young, having to have flawless skin, having to have,
Yeah.
flawless bodies.
Yeah. And I think
And part of it is because we have to stay the hot ones, right? Like we don't want to be like our hetero siblings and stress beyond the maxes. So we want to still stay young, cute. But I personally have not dove into Botox or fillers.
Yeah.
Although people think I have Botox in my forehead all the time because it's shiny, but I'm like, I just don't wrinkle my forehead. It's something that I don't do because my family used to be like, I've also don't wrinkle your forehead. So I didn't.
Sunscreen, baby.
Sunscreen.
But do you think part of that as well is like if we look at it on a deeper level, it's like you and I went to the gym because we were like insecure about our bodies, if that makes sense. So you and I basically do it for ourselves. Like,
yes,
I go to the gym. I don't have abs right now. Do you know what I mean? I am wearing a tank top, but there is no abs under here. But I do it. I like to go to the gym because it's like I want to feel comfortable in my skin and I want to be able to like look at myself and be happy with what I'm looking at, like personally, if that makes sense. But do you feel like in the community, is it almost about the look, right? It's like, am I going to the gym? Am I doing steroids? Am I doing peptides? Am I like doing Botox? Am I doing that for myself or am I doing that for the look that I'm trying to achieve so that I can be the hottest one at the circus party? I can be the hottest person with my shirt off at the rave and I can pull all of the guys. Like, are people doing it for themselves or are people doing it for others?
I think a lot of people are doing it for others or they want to be the center of attention. But then you have to remember that people who are idolizing these people, right? So like I have a friend who sent me like all these muscle guys on Instagram. And the first thing that I see is their hair is thinning, their face looks old, and like they're 20 years old. And I'm like, you look like you're 46. You know what I mean? You do. And it's like, and it's because you're on peptides and you're on steroids. So like, I'm playing the long game, honey. I'm trying to look like Jennifer Lopez when I'm, approaching 60. I'm trying to look good. I want my skin to look good. And that's where I'm aiming for. But you have these other guys who are like, oh, I want to be the hottest one in the room. And I want to be the one that like everybody. Well, baby, that candle is going to burn out and it's going to burn out fast. Or you're going to be burning down below and you're going to need to talk to the emergency room because you're going to need to get a shot and all the things. So in my mind, it's not of hierarchy to be like this. I'm the number one guy that sometimes this is me personally. I will take a step back. I don't need to be the center of attention. I can watch you be the center of attention and enjoy watching you be the center of attention because that might not be my audience. It's important to know. And this is where people on Instagram get it wrong and influencers get it wrong is they don't know their audience. Because they've never learned how to read an audience. And I know that there are some audiences that they don't understand my jokes, and I'm not going to force them to understand my jokes because they just don't have that personality, right? And it's not saying that they have a bad personality. They don't have that personality. So I'll take a step back and I'll let everybody else engage and I'll like not seclude myself, but just, be an accent to the conversation instead of being the center of the conversation. And then you have the people who walk in with money and status and who are naturally born with high cheekbones and like a strong jaw and the thick eyebrows and all of these things, and apparently that makes you more masculine. And it's like, well, okay, but then are you a doorknob and you just have nothing going on in your brain and you're not smart? Like people don't think about these things, right? So
exactly.
You can have money based off of being a trust fund baby. You can have status based off of being a nepo baby, and you can have looks because you just got lucky. But does it make you smart, intelligent, able to read a room? Not necessarily. So again, this is where your confidence comes as an individual.
100%.
So I ain't got a strong jawline, but I'll bite you because I got strong teeth, right?
And
I got nice teeth. So,
but it's funny that you said that about like, taking a step back and like, okay, I don't need to be the center of attention because this person's trying to be the center of attention. And like you and I, like we know how to read a room. We know how to like read people. We know how to like read a situation. And Like as judgmental as it sounds, sometimes I do find myself like that, if that makes sense. I do like to party, I do like to go out for a dance, I do like to go out for a boogie, and I will see the guys like on the dance floor that's getting a lot of attention because they are hot. But I'm not looking at that person because they're hot. I'm trying to like read that person to be like, are you more than just a body right now? Like, do you actually have a personality? Do you actually have like something else going on? And it's, yeah. I think that's like, it sort of like goes back to like that RuPaul quote of like, stop relying on your body. Like, I think in your 20s, sure. But I think as we are getting old, because you and I are early 30s,
Youthful. Thank you.
we are youthful.
Thank
I
you.
think that eventually, like, and you and I, we will look good for the rest of our lives.
Thank
But
God, honey, thank God.
at least we have a personality.
Yes.
At least we have a personality.
Personality will get you so far, right? Like let me tell you, when I'm on stage, when I have a live audience,
Yeah.
that audience eats me up. They are always, can I take photos? Can we take photos? Always lining up for photos after the show. And I'm like, I'm sorry that I got it like that, but I do. And I'm not, right? Like versus, oh my gosh. Okay, well let me dial this.
Sorry, yeah.
There was someone who our friend was dating, the epitome of good looking, masculine.
Yeah.
Our friend is also good looking, masculine. This person had like muscles on top of muscles, whatever. But when we roasted that friend before their moving away party, we talked about the guy that he was dating. They broke up already, but we talked about that person because they were just like a golden retriever when they say golden retriever boyfriend, but worse. Like there was just nothing in that brain. Like there was not a single thing in that brain. Like had all the looks in the world, not a single thing in the brain happening. Like just did not know if it was day or night, if it was right or left, if what was happening. And we all made fun of him for that. And so like, if you're listening to this and you're the hot person, think about it for a second before you start leaning into that. Do you have personality? And like, do you have a brain? Right? Because nothing is worse than being good looking and having no brain. Because people are going to get tired of you real fast. And that's all you're going to be good for is your looks.
Okay, but now I'm going to be like the gay psychologist and be like, what if he is very aware of that and like he allows other people to like tease him and roast him because he knows he doesn't have a
No, we roasted our friend, not the person that our friend was dating.
Here I am trying to defend like the person that he was dating.
Our friend broke up with him.
Like, what if he like, you know, has to rely on his body because he knows that he's nothing more than just a body. Like let's think about his feelings.
No, our friend, we roasted our friend for dating somebody like that. Like, you dated that? Why? There was nothing happening. Like, I think there was just air in his head. But but I was hosting. I was hosting a show recently. I was live on stage, and I brought this guy on stage. When I tell you Adonis body, like beautiful body, did not have rhythm to save his life. No, his whole personality was his mustache and his beard. And I was like,
no,
I have no idea how you function through life because like it is crazy that they even let you walk into the world, right? Like you are a gorgeous specimen, but like there is nothing happening there for anybody. And then his wife was like, that's my husband. I was like, I can tell because she was on the same level and there was nothing happening with either one of them mentally. I was like, wow, that must be some very topical conversation happening there. That is surface level everything right there. Because he just got on stage and he was expecting the crowd to cheer because he just kept flexing and the crowd got tired of it after like 10 seconds. And I was like, yes. So you have nothing going on between your biceps other than biceps. So that was interesting.
Biceps on biceps.
Biceps on biceps. And I was like, you know, it's hard to be this pretty with this much personality because you just see it all. But I do want to talk to you about like when you were talking about why this guy has everything and everyone. I think it's in both worlds, the hetero and the gay world, where it's no fats, no femmes, no Asians. That is very
Yes.
much a
Yeah.
thing.
100%. Yeah.
And a lot of times Asian guys are seen as feminine or submissive. So
Yes. Yeah.
women don't want to date that, right? Because culturally, a lot of Asian cultures are very giving, very, I guess you can say submissive. They are very giving. They are very considerate. It's very like, let me shower you and all these things because I care for you. And this is how we show love and appreciation. And some people take that as weakness. And it's not that. And then you have in the gay world where a lot of older men date Asian men because they see them as feminine and submissive. And then we get into those gender roles. But is it a toxic trait on Grindr and Hinge and Tinder where it's like no fats, no femmes, no Asians? Yes, it is very much a toxic trait. Because we see it all the time.
I do think though, like, okay, I do want to revisit like gender roles and all of that kind of stuff, or like subs, doms, tops, bottoms, like in the gay community. I want to revisit that topic, but I want to dial it back to what you spoke about before about like Asian, like people might view Asians as like, they're very giving, they're very loving. And like we are, like if you date a Filipino, we are going to show love. But like going back to that and relating that to the gay community, I do think that there is a toxicity there where people are saying like, hey, I want a relationship. I want to find love. I want all of that kind of stuff. But I think when some people out there who are trying to date say that, they are confusing connection with toxicity, as in like, it's not a great relationship if there's no like fuel, and if there's no like fire, and if there's no drama, and if there's no trauma, and like all of that kind of stuff, versus like this is a healthy relationship because there is love and there is giving and there is receiving and all of that kind of stuff. Like I do think that essentially that is one kind of toxic trait in the gay community, that people are saying they want to date but deep down they don't. If that makes sense.
I know exactly.
Like,
I understand.
And that does go back to the Manosphere, because I think that's one thing that the Manosphere teaches, right? Like, let's not give in to emotions, let's not feel things, and let's not all of that kind of stuff. Like,
there is a theory, not mine. I want to make that very clear.
Not his.
Mine.
I
want to make this very clear.
100% not his.
And you might have heard this before, which is actually why I want to bring it up. That
go for it.
In the Manosphere, there is a theory that if white men or Caucasian males date Asian women, they are secretly gay. Have you heard that?
No.
You haven't?
No,
so
that's insane. Tell me more about that. Yeah.
The theory behind it is that I want to hold on. Let me look this up again, because I don't want to get this wrong, because this is not my opinion.
Okay. Yeah.
So the theory is hold on.
Also, shout out to biracial couples. Yes, biracial couples.
Yes. Both of us.
I know. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We're like, shout out to biracial couples as we're like searching this theory of like.
I'm getting there as fast as I can. I just
no, that's fine. Like, I've honestly never heard of that theory, and I'm almost thinking of what it could possibly be. Like, when you say that, I think that in my mind it's because Asians are taught to be more submissive and are taught to be less outspoken, if that makes sense. So if you were secretly gay and dating an Asian woman, then you know that she wouldn't speak up, potentially because of her cultural upbringing. That's where my thoughts are. Can you confirm?
Yes. I can understand exactly what you mean. Because there was a story a few years
Yeah.
back. There was a boat that was sinking, and because in Asian cultures there is a respect where you listen to your elders and everything that your elders say.
Yes.
So many people on that boat drowned because the elders told them to stay in place until they had the proper means to evacuate. So those kids stayed even though the boat was sinking and water was rising in the boat. A lot of them perished due to the respect of, this is what they told me to do and I need to listen.
Correct.
So okay, so the theory is that because there is this hold on, where'd it go?
Your hair is looking really good.
Because there is this interweb of people whom don't want to date Asians women. Men date them as a cover-up in a lavender marriage type of way.
Wow.
In order to cover up their homosexuality.
Okay, what is the source? What's the website?
I don't want to blast it. I don't want to blast it because it's very just. I'm
just wondering.
Just do a Google search and it'll pop up. I promise you. Just type in theory. But and in other contexts, it also said that biracial relationships between Caucasian men and Asian women are common pairings. The reality, relationships between white men and Asian women's are based off of cultural practices and preferences and personality values, which I'm assuming is if you find it more appealing to have traditional values or respect values and stuff like that. So and here's the other thing too. Caucasian families a lot of times tends to be smaller. Yeah. And sometimes there is that. This is actually my opinion. Caucasian families tend to be smaller. You and I, we've said this multiple times. Filipinos, Mexicans are exactly the same. Big families, big parties. Everyone is involved in your business. And so I sometimes think that the Caucasian community can lean into wanting bigger families, and especially in Asian cultures, they are thick as thieves and they are tight as can be. And you know what I mean? Those families are very intertwined because family values are very important. So I can also see why that is a common pairing in interracial relationships, because sometimes when you come from a smaller family, you want the bigger family, right?
Exactly.
My sister-in-law it's just her and her brother. And I remember her years ago telling us oh my gosh, I've always wanted to have multiple siblings and be closer in age to my sibling. And so this is nice because I get to experience this and do all this with you guys, because this isn't what I had growing up.
I think going back to what you said though about using it as a place to hide your homosexuality, I think that is changing now, if that makes sense, because say as a person of Asian heritage, definitely the generation before me and my siblings, they were the type to be less outspoken and not really speak up about things, if that makes sense. Whereas I think that that's changing with the generation now, where now I can't remember her name, but there's this Filipino mom who's an influencer, and she's, the same age as me and all of that kind of stuff. But she's talking about how these are the things that I'm not going to bring into my new son's life. I'm not going to bring hiding your emotions. I'm not going to bring not talking about feelings. I'm not going to bring those toxic traits from my generation above into my family. And so I do think these days, if a Caucasian person was dating an Asian person to hide their homosexuality, that Asian person's literally going to be yo, you gay? Because I'm seeing something, and my mom told me to call it out. So are you gay?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that then raises a thought in my mind, where is the manosphere applicable to an older generation, or would kids these days be able to be more in touch with their feelings?
No, I think in today's times it's really split 50-50, especially in the States. We have this because of our administration that we have currently in the White House, we have this sense of frat boy mentality, right? And I was in a fraternity, and we have our own values, and every fraternity does have their own values, but there are some fraternities who are frat boy and fratty, and there's this sense of like, this is what a man does, and there is females who are like, yeah, I shouldn't be doing this because that's a man's job, and it's like, what, are you insane? Right? So like, it is, you have these huge influencers who are like just misogynistic, and it is insanity. But then you have this next generation, right? And one example that comes up to me is Latino culture is, you don't talk about your feelings. But you don't talk about your feelings. It's very macho to not embrace your sons. But now we're seeing this flipping culture where we're seeing Hispanic dads that are really embracing their son. And one instance specifically sticks out to me is there was this person on Instagram Live, or they were on YouTube Live, and he was doing a makeup tutorial, and his dad came home and he flipped off the lights right away because he had his face with makeup. And I was like, Papi, where are you? Like, because he knew that he was in the house somewhere, and he's calling him. And then the dad, he's like, just tries to stay quiet. And he's on live this whole time. He's like, covering his mouth, and he's like covering his face. And then the dad comes in and he opens the curtain. He's like, what are you doing? And he turns to him because he has no other thing to do. And he like looks at him, and he's like, in a full face beat, honey, beat. That makeup was beat. Full face of makeup, looks at his dad, and his dad was like, is this what you're doing? And he's like, well, yeah. And he's like, and he points to the camera, and he's like, well, if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it good, papi. You gotta do good. And he turns on the light. He's like, you do it. I love you just the same. And he's kissing his son, and he's letting him know, like, this is who you are, and I approve so much of who you are. Like, you shouldn't be ashamed of who you are. And I think that is one of the most beautiful videos on the internet that just. We came from, especially when we were younger, right? We came from this macho type of like early 90s, late 80s, like how you're supposed to be as a man. And
correct.
Now you have everybody who is really kind of starting to become in touch with their feelings. So again, like the manosphere is like 50-50, right? And it's beautiful that.
Yeah, that's it. I think it's on us as like the current generation that are more aware. It's like a responsibility on us to then also give that to the new generation, like to give that to the children of today. Like, I'm sure you do it with your nieces, but I know with my nieces, when they were growing up, they would say things like, Uncle Paul, why do you have nail polish on? Like, that's only for girls. Or like, Uncle Paul, why do you like the color pink? Like, that's only for girls. And I would say to them, like, yeah, girls like it, but boys can like it too. Like, it's okay for a boy to wear pink. It's okay for a boy to have nail polish. Like, it's okay. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and I don't know about you, but I think it's like, it's on us to teach me with my nails. Like, like it's on us, but it's on us to teach that to the kids these days. Do you know what I mean? Like,
where my mind goes, okay. Instantly is like the pettiness of when I
of course it does.
If one of us said that, like, if, slap, if my sisters, like, not that my dad ever wore pink, but if he did and my sisters were like, oh, why are you wearing pink? He'd be like, oh, why are you wearing blue? You know what I mean? Like, that's a boy color. Why are you wearing blue as a boy color? Right? So, but I also think moments like that can also be important because
correct.
Sometimes people don't understand things until you put it in the opposite perspective. Oh, no. Okay, here we go. We're back. So, like, when you put it in the opposite perspective, right? So, a lot of times, I'm just going to put this into the service worker industry.
Go for it. Do it.
If a customer at, like, a Starbucks is asking for a drink and the person asks them to clarify, like, can you just clarify, right? Because there's a reason behind it, right? They might have 3 different type of oat milks. Like, did you want, like, what type of, did you say you want an oat milk? Well, what type? And the person looks at them, they're like, oat milk, because you're an idiot. It's oat milk. How can I explain this? And if the person turns and they're like, well, you're the idiot that doesn't realize that we have 3 different ones. And like, I am so offended. sometimes you have to equally offend someone so that they understand the damages that you're doing and reciprocate it back. So it's like, this is what you look like, right?
Yeah.
So we have a friend.
Yeah.
And one time a guy was like, "Oh, are you into girls?" And she was like,
"Is he gay?"
No. And then she turned to him and then she goes, "Are you into boys?" And he's like, "Whoa, that's crazy that you would even ask that question." And she goes, "Why would you ask me that question? That doesn't make any sense." And it's kind of one of those, you have to put it back on that person so that they can. Oh, were you able to hear me?
No, I did hear you. Yeah, it came back.
Okay, so
you were
like
saying,
it's
you have to put it
simple
back.
like that. Like that's where my mind goes, is sometimes you got to put it back on them, but like you're giving gentle parenting, and I'm giving like reality check parenting, where it's
no. But
because boys can wear that too. It's like, well, do you like? Are you a boy because you're wearing blue? No. So why can't a boy wear pink? Get it together and stop judging people, right? And that's like that minority ethnic type parenting mindset.
Exactly. Yeah. Which, look, it builds character, it builds resilience, but are we in touch with our emotions? Like, yeah, but it took a while to get there.
It took a while to get there.
So one thing that I've been trying to think of, where it's like, okay, are there traits from, the Manosphere and the gay community? Like, one thing I thought about as well was, like, if we're comparing the gay community of the past versus of the present, one thought of me was like, okay, these days you see a lot of like the queer community really embracing who they are, with how they wear, with how they dress, with how they speak, with how they give themselves pronouns, like all of that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, people are really genuinely, authentically being themselves. And then let's compare that to and I think a lot of that is because of mainstream media, if that makes sense. Like, you see queer love out there these days, something like Heated Rivalry. Amazing. Like, it's about very heated, very sexual driven, but there is a love there. You look at Love Simon, like, it's very about love. You look at, what's that other one? I can't remember, but it's like the English one where they play rugby. I can't remember, but it's about love, with all of that. So the mainstream media basically shows it now. Whereas for the older gay generation, there wasn't that mainstream presence, if that makes sense.
No.
So like, their thought of like what it meant to be gay, like to hide and to not be yourself and to not express yourself in public, like, has that changed, if that makes sense? Like, are we essentially breaking down something? Am I making sense?
This goes back to like back when they had lavender marriages, right? Like, you knew what you were getting in. Well, a lot of them knew what they were getting into, because sometimes the one was lesbian and one was gay, and so they marry each other so that they had this cover, and they would live their independent lives, but they would go back to the same house, because you couldn't be out, you couldn't be open, you couldn't be proud. And I think that's where the world still needs work. Like, we're seeing a lot of it, but people are getting offended by it. Of like, well, I don't want to see it thrown in my face. Like, okay, like, let's put this into perspective. Do you think a gay individual wants to see a straight couple making out and having intimate relations on screen? Because probably not, because they can't relate to that. So why is it so bad that they can relate to somebody on screen? And again, like, mind your own business. Now we have all these secrets over here in the States that are coming out, right? Like, there was this one person, her name's Chrissy Noam, and she was like deploying deploying ICE through the United States, and come to find out that her boyfriend dresses and they're all about, that party is all about hyper masculinity and being a man, and a woman being a woman. But these pictures have now been released where her husband is wearing a chest plate with, double D size breasts and a pouty face, because he likes to be he likes bimbo play, or whatever they call it. And it's like, again, I don't care about what you're doing. The issue that I have with you is you're caring about what we're doing, right? So this hyper masculinity, this conflict of everything in the world is like, just people want to be left alone. People want to see themselves represented on movies and television and these things that are coming out. You're right. There's a lot more of it coming out, but it is being met with resistance, which takes me to my next point of, just because you call yourself the alpha male, does it actually mean you're the alpha male if you can't live on your own and you have 3 or 4 roommates? But you're expected to be the man, right? Like you're the man, and you like portray like, oh, I'm so hyper masculine, and I got all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You live in a 4-bedroom house with 3 roommates.
Yeah, but we don't see
So
that on
again,
Instagram.
be careful what people are portraying to you, because they might,
Yeah.
you might think that they're giving off hyper masculinity or masculine energy, and it's like independence, and it's like, nope, they have 3 roommates, so they're going to be spending a lot of time at your house.
Let me ask you this question though about alpha then, like, because I know that in our community there's always this thing about dominance. So to you, what does being dominant mean, if that makes sense? Does it mean choking? Does it mean
simple?
Like, what does?
No.
Tell me.
To me, being dominant is not being affected by anything that comes your way and can handle the situation without being overly stressed or without throwing your hands up in the air, because you can just handle anything that's thrown at you. That is my definition of dominant. Like, I think someone who can't handle pressure, or like someone right away who throws their hands up, like you're submissive because you just give in and you're just like, whatever, just do it, right? And I'm like, I'm a fan of taking the back seat of a situation. But then it's like, well, now who are you calling to rescue, right? So then step in and handle the situation. I have a few friendships that are like that, and it's like they're like, oh, I'm so dominant, okay, but how come when shit hits the ceiling you're always looking at me like, what are we gonna do? Handle it, dog. You know what I mean? You don't. I can handle it. Now when I have to handle it, I look at them like, now you got me, like when we talked about last episode, now you got me involved, and now everybody's gonna get hit, because why am I having to come up and clean up a mess that you said you can clearly handle, right? But I also don't have, being dominant can also mean like you can call things out as what they are. You can call things out clearly, and people don't like to hear that, but sometimes you need to, like, nope, you can't handle right. A lot of times people want to project their emotions or whatever on you, but a lot of times it's themselves, and they're like, oh, well, no, I can't handle this. What can you do? Because clearly it's not showing, right? And I deal with that a lot. In one of my jobs, people right away just, they want to be like, oh, we're gonna do it this way, you're gonna do it, and I'm like, okay, well, that's not gonna work. And then when it all falls apart, like, well, what? It's all falling apart. Well, handle it. You said you got it, so I'm gonna just sit right here and I'm gonna take the back seat. Oh, you're telling me you can't handle it? Oh, that's unfortunate.
It's almost,
or are you asking for my help now? Oh, okay.
It's almost like being able to take the lead, but still taking into account the other person's thoughts and opinions, essentially. Which I think I can give
anyone the reins, promise you, but I know that I am one person who can get it done from start to finish, and do not get in my way when I'm doing it, because I'm going to make it happen, and you're just going to throw a wrench in there. Especially if you already had the opportunity to help out and you failed, right? Which is a lot of times when I host. Well, I'll just give you an example. A lot of times when I host parties, I just put out the spread myself. Because
you just do it.
I've had so many times where someone has fallen through of like, oh, I'm not gonna bring, I forgot to bring that. Okay, well, why open your mouth? Because clearly you couldn't handle bringing one bottle of whiskey, which I don't even drink. But now I'm just like, I'm just gonna put out a full spread: whiskey, tequila, vodka. Here,
like the essentials.
Like, you bring what you like. I will have the food on the table. I will have the chips out, because I just don't. It's being dominant is being able to control the situation from start to finish. That's where I see it. But again, that's my opinion. Everyone has their different opinions.
No, but I like that, because I think that that's one thing that may be misconstrued in like our community, like tops, bottoms, doms, femmes, like what it means to be something. Like, I think that can be misconstrued and like as a bit of a toxic, but like you said, it's all about opinion, and it's all about what it means to you. But before we go into oh no, you're shut up right now. But before we go into oh no, did you want to do the Petty Olympics because you and I are petty AF?
Yes, I want to do the opinion. Our nominees are
You're like, yes, I want to do it.
for the Petty Olympics. Our
Tell
nominees
me.
are the guy
Yeah.
who calls himself high value but lives with 3 roommates. Number 1. Number 2, the no fats, no femmes profile, but also no job listed. Number 3, the podcast bro who hates women / femmes, but begs for their attention. Are you ready for the winner? Who is going to be our winner?
Oh my gosh. How do we know
Our
the
winner-
winner?
Our gold medal is our gold medal goes to the man who says he doesn't need anyone, but goes live every night to talk about how he's too good for a relationship. So that takes the cake for me. So that's our gold. Our silver. Our silver goes to the guy who calls himself high value but has 3 roommates. And our bronze goes to the no fats, no femmes profile with also no job. And someone who didn't even make it to any placings is a podcast bro who complains online.
Look, for me,
Not us.
not us, because
Not
we
us. We're
did
giving
not-
opinions. We're not complaining.
Exactly. We did not complain for the past 50 minutes and 57 seconds. We said the facts. But but out of that list, for me, the gold actually goes to the no fats, no femmes, because
Okay.
I'm just like, yeah, screw you. You get the gold. I'm petty AF. It's you.
Well, that's true. No fats, no femmes, and no job, sir. What you need to be worried about is your bank account and not who is. And you know what? A lot of times those mofos aren't even in shape and they're not even good looking. Want to talk about no fats, no femmes, sir? What you need to work on is why you grew a beard to cover up that you don't have any chin definition, okay, and no jawline. So let's
That's
talk
really a
about that.
thing. That
It
is
a
really
thing.
a thing.
It's called beard fishing. I encourage everybody to have their significant other shave their entire face before you walk down the aisle. Because, baby, if you're planning on having kids with that person, know what kind of jawline can possibly come out of that. Okay?
That is good
That is
advice.
the gold medal for me.
That is good advice.
Let's go into our R&R moment of the week. What is your R&R moment of the week?
I feel like I had one. Do you have one?
I do have one.
What
I
is
think I blew my
R&R
back out
moment
at
of-
work.
Did it
hurt.
feel good? Oh.
Not that kind. Well, I should have said thrown my back out, not blew my back
Because
out.
I was gonna say blew your back out. Like, yes. What does it
We're
mean?
gay.
To
We're
blow
not
your...
smart. I think I threw my back out at work. It's actually, I'm in a lot of pain right now. Not a lot of pain. If I
Aw.
take some like anti-inflammatory, like AKA
Yeah.
Advil, I think I should be fine.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Yeah.
ooh, girl.
Yeah, no, you definitely need to.
So
do
no
that.
twerking on the dance floor tonight. But I got to be ready for cousin Chevy's.
You do. You have 1 week to get your back into shape so you can be like, my neck, my back. You could do it, put your back into it.
I can't do it right now. I can't put no back into it. I need an icy hot is what I need. Icy hot and a massage gun.
What is my oh no moment of the week? Well, it was my birthday recently, and I was like, okay, I went to a dance class the night before my birthday.
Cute.
And every Thursday, like a group of people from that dance class, they'll always like hit Yaya's, which is Thursday night in Melbourne down Fitzroy Smith Street. And one of the girls was like, oh, are you coming tonight? Are you coming tonight? And I'm like, no, girl, like it's a school night. Like I'm an old man. And she was like, you are not an old man. Like you're probably younger than me. And I was like, do you know how old I am, Samora? And she was like, yeah, like 25. And I was
yes, correct.
like,
Correct.
I was like, honey, I'm like turning 34 tomorrow, and her face was just like face crack. Like, so my oh no moment of the week isn't an actually oh no moment of the week, because my oh no moment of the week is, oh no, I look like I'm 25.
Yes. Oh no, I'm aging so well, and that's unfortunate
Oh,
for everybody else in your
yes.
community.
Yes, but then my back is being blown out at the gym, as in from the workouts.
How that was a full circle moment. Let us know in the comments below if your back is getting blown out from being at work. We'll see you next week on Good Day Gay. Bye.